Hello, what's going on? It's another episode of Teams, Profiles, and Projections here on Talkin Baseball, brought to you by SeatGeek. We are doing the National League East today, and if this is your first time tuning in for one of these because you are a fan of one of these 5 teams in this division, make sure that you are under the impression that we know less than you, and we need your help. We count on our audience. They clean things up for us. They tidy it up. They make us sound less dumb and more smart. Also, if you're listening on the podcast app, this is going to be a long episode, about an hour and a half or so, and you'll hear all 5 teams. If you're tuning into YouTube, it's 1 team per video. Now that I've laid the groundwork, I think we're going to get right into it, unless you guys have some quick first words. Jake, on the clock. First words.
Fire me up. Let's go.
Trev, do you have any first words?
We're dumb sometimes.
BBD?
We're recording these and AL East back to back, so it's going to be one big session, just so everyone knows.
He loved it.
Speaking of one big sessions.
On your mark, get set, and go. The stopwatch is going. There's 10 minutes on the clock. The Washington Nationals won 65 games last year. They missed the playoffs. They traded a couple guys that had some promise. They kept some other guys. They did make some moves in the offseason that are a little odd, and I'd like Jake to tell us about them. Jake.
Your Washington Nationals, who they lost. Pour one out, Trev. And let's retire a number. Ryan Zimmerman, Mr. National. What a career. He's the only notable loss. Who they added? Nelson Cruz. Love him. Cesar Hernandez. How's your on-base king? Steve Cishek. Sean Doolittle. Ihiri Adrianza. Let's get that right, maybe. And then some minor league deals, guys you might know that'll be playing in the show this year. Anibal Sanchez, Maikel Franco, D. Strange Gordon, Tyler Clippard. How's your high changeup? And Aaron Sanchez trying to find it back from his Blue Jay days. So they brought in a lot of guys to this 65 and 97 team. And I guess if there's somewhere you can dream, it's the rotation a little bit T-nasty.
You can. We got to get some guys healthy here. Starting the rotation off, Steven Strasburg. Ever heard of him? The electric debut seems like 50 years ago. Still in the Washington Nationals organization, missed a lot of 2021 with right shoulder inflammation. Behind him, Patrick Corbin. They paid him a ton to be the lefty that strikes everybody out. They got Josiah Gray from the Dodgers. We got Joe Ross there. Paolo Espina, Eric Fetty Wap. Jake, you like that name. And like you said, Anibal Sanchez is in there on a minor league deal. But, man, he got hammered against the Cardinals. I think he had like 14 runs or something like that. So not a great start to spring for him. But in the bullpen, some more familiar names: Kyle Finnegan, Tanner Rainey, Steve Cishek, Sean Doolittle is back, Will Harris. So there is some pitching here. And James, why don't you tell us about the lineup that definitely has some boppers?
Yeah, the 2, 3, and 4 are fun. You got Cesar Hernandez. They have him scratches leading off at second base. Then you have Juan Soto. I mean, if your team's playing the Nationals, make sure you pay extra special attention to Juan Soto at bats. And, by the way, impossible not to. So I don't even need to tell you that. Nelson Cruz behind him for at least half of the year. Josh Bell behind him for at least half of the year. Kelbert Ruiz, not in my book. Lame Thomas, that's a tough name, not in my book. Alcides Escobar, we like him. Michael Franco and Victor Robles. So that really dives off.
It does a little bit. And even the pitching, we're talking about Strasburg. He had thoracic outlet syndrome last year. You know about the guys that have had that. It is tough to come back from that. He's working now. I think this is what an article says. They're hoping to get anything out of Steven Strasburg.
That's a good article. I'm sure he is happy about that. This is a trade team. This team's going to be really bad, and then other teams are going to ask for pieces. Nelson Cruz will probably be traded. Give him $10 million, have him bang some home runs for 3 months, and then trade him for prospects at the deadline. If he ends the year with this team, I think is a weird option, but that would be bizarre. Josh Bell actually had a good year last year.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. Good for Josh Bell. And he should also not end this season with this team. And then the whole bullpen is basically that. It's like their strategy is, hey, maybe, we'll trade Will Harris, Cishak, Doolittle. Like, if anyone plays themselves into being wanted, we'll get a return with some prospects. And I think that's the goal this year.
Man, the 2019 World Series champion Nationals, things have changed a lot. Patrick Corbin, who's slotted in at the one spot right now, because remember, Scherzer used to be there. He gone. Strasburg, you mentioned the thoracic outlet syndrome. A couple more success stories are starting to leak out. Alex Cobb, I didn't realize he was one. So let's hope Strasburg gets to be one of those, because, man, what a sneaky little career he's had, huh? And, by the way, they gave him the bag, so if you're a Nationals fan that wants some hope over the next 5 years or so, you hope that guy bounces back. Patrick Corbin got killed last year, 5.82 ERA. He slotted in the one hole. This division is disgusting. This division is disgustingly good. Yeah, I mean, you're looking to find the next part of Nationals history. I know they're trying to lock up Juan Soto. I think, bringing in Nelson Cruz and a couple of those guys on the offensive end were to help Juan feel more comfortable, so hopefully they can lock him up for the next 13 years and, make sure he's a National and build around him. Ruiz is a legit prospect behind the dish. Josiah Gray is a legit prospect pitching. Those are part of the return for Scherzer and Trey Turner. So those are the guys you're circling in Nats land. Like, hey, if those guys click, we're starting to build a young core of this team. But you're right, Jimbo. I mean, Josh Bell, I think it's a contract year for him. Nelson Cruz, by the midway point of the season, is going to be better served for contender. Same with Cesar Hernandez. And any of the bodies in the bullpen. So, sorry, Nats fans. I mean, I don't think any of you are surprised, especially these other four teams in the division. Like, even the Fish, I think, are just a tier up from Los Nats.
I started this off by saying, hey, these guys could make some moves. They could do something. And as you mentioned to me, Jake, wait till we get to the other teams. Now that I'm even going over the roster and kind of seeing what we're playing with here, it's going to be a long season. But you do have Juan Soto. I think, like, let's get a silver lining here. You want to go out and see one of the best hitters to ever do it? You can go see one of the best hitters to ever do it. Not every team can say that when they're struggling. The Pirates don't have that. So we're trying to give a little bit of optimism here. Still get out to the ballpark and go watch him.
Yeah, it's front office season. Watch Juan Soto. He's not going anywhere. So you're rooting for awards here. Like, you're rooting for Juan Soto to hit a ton of home runs, to win MVP, to have protection, and then you're rooting for some of the young guys to stand out and give you hope and promise for, like, the next year, and then root for the front office to move some guys and get good returns.
Yeah, I mean, basically. And start working a framework to keep Juan Soto in Washington for the next decade and a half.
Yeah. Like, don't make him miserable. Make him feel like...
Honestly, here's what I would do if I was a Nationals fan. I go to the park. I go for BP. I try to catch me some Juan Soto homers and BP. Stick around for the game. Watch him take a few ABs. Have a beer. And whatever the night brings you might get a victory. Probably not. Odds are you won't. But I think if you go early and try to get some Juan Soto homers, it'll make for a successful day. I can't tell if that's depressing or I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah. Yes, to both. I think, TPPs, we jump in the deep end and start swimming because we were in lockout mode. Like, if we're being honest, like what this TPP should be is like, hey, if you're deep cut baseball, like Carter Kieboom, once, he strained his forearm, but he should get a lot of at-bats this year. Is he an MLB guy? The other Luis Garcia, Luis V. Garcia, he's a young guy. He's going to start the year in the minors. He should get called up. If you're a Nats fan, you want to circle 3 guys that next year you're penciling in the lineup and you like them. Hey, the Washington Nationals, they showed they will spend. Like, they tried. I think they offered Juan Soto a $300 million bag. So, let's get Strasburg on track. let's get some money, get some young guys, make some free agent moves last year, and start the next step because this team's not good.
Worst thing that happened here is that Bell and Cruz have down years and you don't get to cash in because that's the biggest win. I hate rooting for the front office and that side. I like you rooting for wins, but clearly that you're going up against good time to rebuild if you're not a contender at all. Because there's some teams in this division.
The other good thing they have going is the two main pieces they got in the Scherzer Turner trade are gonna play all year. Keibert and Josiah Gray, they're gonna play. You're gonna get to see them. They're supposed to be really good.
You flipped Lester, I believe, for Lane Thomas, who came over and did really well. And he's only 26 years old. He only has 2 years of service time. So this guy's going to be in your organization. Or James, a very attractive.
I saw Lane Thomas bat leadoff.
No, you didn't.
I swear on my life.
You liar.
Trade piece if he goes off. Okay.
You froze for a second, and then we got the rest of your sentence all in one quick, tidy package.
Hit. And that's the Nats season.
That's the Nats season.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's move on before it freezes again. Over-under is?
42.
71.5. Ooh, I'm going to take the under. They won 65 last year, and the division got better and they got worse. That's an odd one to me.
I think they kind of... There's an argument they got better.
For 2 months.
They didn't lose anything. Yeah. And they brought in guys trying to make...
They had Turner and Schwarber for 3 months last year.
They're better than the team they finished with. But
but that's not how you can judge that.
Exactly.
Because they had Trey Turner and Schwarber for half the year.
Yeah.
Now they're going to have Cruz and Bell for half. Under.
The answer's under either way. Yeah. Trev, hit that over, dude.
I can't.
Hammer that over, dog.
I can't hammer the over because they may have stayed the same or gotten a little bit better, but the division got a lot better. So I'm taking the under. Sorry, guys.
I'm a little shocked that that's their real number.
Yeah, that's like a run to the phone number, actually.
Yeah,
That's pick up the DraftKings and place the bet number.
DraftKings.
Next up,